Inflammatory foods. Hi, I'm Angie. Thanks for joining me here at the Perfectly Imperfect Kitchen for Life Squared.
Welcome to Life Squared, brought to you by the Perfectly Imperfect Network, from imperfect folk everywhere.
Inflammatory foods. You hear us talk here at Life Squared and the Life Squared Diet about anti-inflammatory foods. So we thought we would take you through foods that do just the opposite, and that's increase your inflammation. We know that if you already have an autoimmune disease, you already have inflammation. So what could be adding to it? If you don't have an autoimmune disease, then what is causing your inflammation and swelling? And some of these might surprise you, but these are a good idea. These foods are a good idea to start either eliminating or seriously cutting down on the amount of times you eat them in your diet. Number one, first and foremost, is processed meat. That would be like lunch meat. The charcuterie boards, which I love, you have to be very careful about the meats you put on them because they can be very high in sodium, nitrates, phthalates, all sorts of bad stuff. So you have to be very careful about finding luncheon meats or, Italian style meats that you want to put on your charcuterie boards. Find them that do not contain the bad stuff. They're out there. They're just not as easy to find, and sometimes they cost a little more. Also red meat, like steaks. Now that doesn't mean you can never eat a steak again. Every 3 or 4 months I want a little bit, and I try to stick to 3 or 4 ounces because it really does increase my inflammation. Sometimes it's okay for me if I eat, I might eat it once and I might not get a lot of inflammation. But say if I were on Sunday to eat a little steak and then on Tuesday have a hamburger. Well, let me tell you, by Wednesday, I am terribly inflamed. I am very sensitive to these types of meats. Number 2, processed sugar. Now, in this house, as you can see, I don't have these. We have already eliminated it. It's just my husband and I, and we have been able over the last few months to eliminate most all of these inflammatory foods from our diet, at least as much as possible. Processed sugar would be like soda, candy, pastries, pies, cakes, ice cream, unless they're made in such a way that they have used, for example, stevia, monk fruit, or other natural sweeteners. Aspartame, probably even worse than sugar. Stay away from those aspartame type products. I mean, it even has its own disease named after it. So do not use products that use that sugar replacement. Be very careful about, ice cream. You can now get ice creams that use other sweeteners. You can get soda. We tried a soda the other day made from stevia, and it was very good. I'm not a big soda drinker, but I will tell you, every now and then I like a ginger ale, especially if I have like a little upset stomach. And it's the ginger ale with stevia was actually quite good. So try it. Don't get an attitude about it before you try it. The sweeteners, for example, stevia is very, very sweet. So if you have a sweet tooth, like my husband, you're probably going to like stevia a lot. I tend to like monk fruit because I have been staying away from sugar for a very long time. So I have less of a sweet tooth. Stevia sometimes is a little bit sweet for me. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we found a new sweetener that combines stevia and monk fruit. I will tell you, it's pretty much right there at a place where I like it and my husband likes it. So it's not too sweet, but it's sweet enough. So look for that, especially in your box stores. Number 3, cooking oils. For example, corn oil, grapeseed oil, sunflower, and others. These disrupt the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. It's very bad for you. Also, a lot of oils are bad when they're heated up. They can be carcinogenic. So try to stick with oils like we try to stick with avocado because it can get very, very hot, and olive oil. Olive oil does not cook well over about 500, but both oils are better for your body when they're not cooked at all. So throw them on your salad when you're not going to cook it, or after a meal, maybe dip bread or something in it. But these oils are much better for you when they're not heated up. Number 4, trans fats. This is obvious, like shortening, lard, any kind of fat that coagulates and becomes hard is really bad. Most of us know that. And a lot of companies that manufacture even, like chips have quit using trans fats. Restaurants, for the most part, have quit using trans fats. But one of the surprising places where you find trans fats is in commercially prepared peanut butter. Now, I am not a big fan of peanut butter because of the trans fats and the fact that they add a whole lot of oil and a whole lot of sugar and stuff to commercial peanut butter. If you really love peanut butter, and I get it, make sure you go and grind it yourself at the health food store, or a lot of grocery stores now have the grinders there. Other butters are maybe a better choice, like almond. We use a seed butter that we buy at the box store. It is absolutely awesome. It tastes great. It is just like peanut butter. You got it around when you're really hungry. You need something very quickly. It's got a long shelf life. But maybe you rethink, buying that jar of peanut butter off the shelf. Number 5, dairy products. Dairy products can be particularly inflammatory, except for kefir and unsweetened yogurt. It is probably best to go for coconut and almond milk, or coconut or almond milk. Now, we like the combination better here because the coconut milk actually tastes really good. The almond milk sometimes is better to cook with so that we don't have 3 or 4 different kinds of milk in our fridge. We tend to buy the coconut almond 50-50. And it's a very good choice. And these are also very good for you. We have videos on coconut milk and almond milk. So if you want to see what the benefits are of those milks, please watch those videos. Number 6, alcohol. Alcohol, even if you don't drink a lot, can be incredibly inflammatory. So if you're having trouble getting inflammation after you drink, maybe you should consider not drinking or just cutting back. I know that we haven't had any alcohol for several months because both of us had to have a small surgery, and you definitely do not heal as well if you are consuming alcohol from, for example, a surgery. I am surprised how much it was causing inflammation for me because I had a couple drinks a couple times a week. I didn't drink often or a lot. So you might want to rethink whether or not your alcohol is causing your inflammation. Number 7, refined grains. Now, wheat gluten, most of us know, is really not that great for us. I happen to be a celiac. I was diagnosed with a wheat and gluten allergy about 15 years ago. So I haven't had that for a very long time, except a couple times accidentally. But they're also learning that other grains just aren't so great for us either. Now, they're doing a lot with seeds. That's a good alternative. Corn and rice probably are not good replacements. So if you can find bread or crackers or even chips made from seeds, it's really a better choice. But be careful, you're going to have to read, because sometimes they'll say, oh, these are seed tortilla chips. And you go, great, I got the seeds. Well, you will learn that seeds have been added to the corn. So read your labels. Number 8, artificial additives like MSG, coloring, fillers. If you're eating a highly processed food, it is probably going to be an inflammatory food, because there are so many additives that can cause inflammation. So we want to help you keep your body happy and healthy, as well as your mind. And we appreciate you coming here. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, tell your friends about us. But most of all, thanks for joining me here today in the Perfectly Imperfect Kitchen at Life Squared.
We really appreciate you joining us today at Life Squared on the Perfectly Imperfect Network. To get more content, please consider subscribing. If you have any questions or feedback, we'd love to hear from you in the comments section. Thanks for watching.